Sha-Burn-Gurr. No, I haven't talked to Lenny. Sha-Burn-Gurr. Yeah, Brian, the guy that I talked about with his father, he used to go see Gummy at the gas station. He was there for Sha-Burn-Gurr. Sha-Burn-Gurr was with Brian and Jimmy, and I can't remember who else was there. Sha-Burn-Gurr was a special night. We had a lot of special nights around the fire up there at Deer Camp in Michigan. Oh, Jesus, I got a text message. Juice always wins. Okay, go for it, brah. Yeah. Sha-Burn-Gurr was a great time. When I was thinking about another great story from Deer Camp was my good buddy Kurt from Oxford, Michigan, who I went to college with. I don't know if you guys have heard these stories yet. He used to come up there with a pocket full of money, and we used to get wood and have huge bonfires. That's the guy that would get the bale of straw to lay down around the bonfire for the dogs to lay on. And that's the guy that introduced me to Clutch's first album. But the firewood guy, he was a guy named John Ehlers, Ehlers, John Ehlers. He's dead. He died of a heart attack. He was a good guy, local guy, biker guy. Made his living selling firewood. And I remember one time Kurt was up and we were going to have a big party that night at my deer camp. And Kurt wanted a cord of wood just for the bonfire. You know, and back in those days, a cord of hardwood was like $40. You know, for your average family, I mean, $40 worth of cordwood, that was a lot of heat, you know. I don't know what a cord of wood costs nowadays, but anyway, back in those days, there was a lot of wood. So John Ehlers comes over with this cord of wood, and Kurt gives him the money. And John dumps some of it in front of the bonfire pit. He's like, "Where do you want me to put the rest of it?" And Kurt's like, "Well, you can dump it all right here." And John was kind of a simple man. He didn't quite understand. He's like, what do you mean? And Kurt's like, "Well, we're going to burn all that tonight." And John was like, "What do you mean?" And Kurt's like, "Well, we're going to drink and have a good time. We're going to burn all that tonight." And John Ehlers, God rest his soul, he just couldn't understand that some white boys from down by Detroit we're gonna blow $40 just on a face cord of fucking split firewood to burn and have a good time and play clutch. And he fucking laughed his fucking ass off that we were gonna burn. Now, $40 isn't a lot of money nowadays, but we're talking like, 1995, 1996. I don't know, maybe the late 90s. $40 worth of wood was a lot of money. So John Ehlers, this big burly biker guy, and he was big. He was a fucking woodsman and a biker, Harley Davidson guy. He was a biker and he was a forester. So he had natural muscles. This guy was huge. He wasn't big by bodybuilding standards, but he was big. He was probably 5'10", 240, 250 at least. I mean, this guy was big. And he dumped all this firewood, and he was just so happy to get the $40. And he's just laughing his fucking dick off. He's like, "You guys are going to burn all this tonight in the bonfire pit? Just drinking and smoking?" And Kurt's like, "Yeah, we are." And John Ehlers was just like, "Jesus Christ, I can't believe it." Like, he couldn't believe it. No, he wasn't a PM. He was a white guy. He was a member of the Joker's Motorcycle Club. He was a badass. John Ehlers was a fucking badass. He was huge. I mean, not huge by like my standards, but huge to a normal mortal. He was like 5'10", 240, 250. He was big for a biker. I mean, he was big. And obviously he knew how to fight. He was in the Joker's Motorcycle Club. And he just shook his head, laughing. He thought we were so stupid. And then we proceeded to burn an entire face cord of fucking split hardwood, that would probably last a family, to heat their house. I don't know how long but it was just so over the top. And we got a bale of straw spread out around the fucking fire pit. And of course we got a bunch of wet dogs because I lived on the river. So these dogs are soaking wet. We got this huge bonfire going and all this fresh straw laid out around the bonfire pit. So we got all these dogs just laying as close to the fire as they can get. Some of them had steam coming off their back. They got so close to the fire. And we're just cranking clutch and smoking weed like just doobie after doobie after doobie and cranking clutch. And those were the times. Those were the times. Those were the best days of my life. I don't know about the Jokers being religious. The Jokers in Michigan are pretty big. Yeah, Miggy hit 3,000 today. Miggy did 3,000 hits today. Joined the club, a very elite club of people with over 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. No, they weren't gypsies. They were jokers. Yeah, Lenny's out of the hospital. Yeah, we had such good times back then. Uh, what does Sha-Burn-Gurr mean? Well, I was smashed on alcohol and marijuana one night, and the fire was kind of down to just coals, and I threw a bunch of wood on the fire, and in my drunken stupor, stammering, I said Sha-Burn-Gurr. What I meant to say should burn good, but I was so fucked up, I just said Sha-Burn-Gurr. But everybody around me knew what I meant, and they just started fucking dying. They're just laughing their fucking asses off. Sha-Burn-Gurr. So it just got to be a statement. Oh, I smoked grass back in the day. I haven't touched it in a long time. Can some piss trooper add Sha-Burn-Gurr to the Urban Dictionary? Yeah, but you got to hyphenate it. It's Sha-Burn-Gurr. You got to do it right. Sha-Burn-Gurr, yeah. Cabby McGinnis has got it right.